The worst thing you can do in life is to work a job because, in truth, it's the most risky thing you can do for the lowest possible reward. Risk and reward are always connected. When you take a big risk, you should expect a big reward in return. That's how life works. The problem is that society has completely flipped this logic upside down. Banned traditional thinking used to tell us something very simple. It's risky to work for yourself. It's risky to start your own business. It's risky to chase your dreams. People have been programmed to believe that avoiding risk equals safety. They've been told that working for a big company is the safe route. You get a pension, you get a stable paycheck, you don't have to think too much, and as long as you show up, you'll be fine. That's the lie everyone was sold. Imagine you grow up believing that stability comes from working for someone else, from sitting in a cubicle, following rules, and waiting for that small promotion every few years. You convince yourself it's smart, that it's safe, that this is how responsible adults live, but look around you. Everything has changed. The truth is that the riskiest thing you can do today is to work a job. The lowest reward and highest risk now belong to the employee, not the entrepreneur. Why? Because the world has evolved. Technology has advanced. Corporations don't need you anymore. You are just a number in a system designed to replace you the second something more efficient comes along. And right now, that something is artificial intelligence. AI doesn't sleep, doesn't complain, doesn't get sick. It performs perfectly every time. For companies, this means fewer human problems and more profit. So while people still cling to the illusion that a job is safe, corporations are busy finding ways to remove you from the equation entirely. The same job that feeds you today could vanish tomorrow, not because you failed, but because a machine can now do it better. The same system that promised stability is now quietly pushing millions into instability. The irony is that the very thing people fear, working for themselves, taking control, starting something of their own, is now the least risky thing they could do. You can't be fired by yourself. You control your future, your income, your time. You can build, grow, adapt. But a job keeps you stuck. It keeps you small. It gives you just enough to survive, never enough to live. Everything has inverted. The safe path is now the dangerous one, and the risky path is the only road to freedom. The illusion of job security is the greatest lie society still believes. In this new world, the real security is in ownership of your time, your effort, your destiny. The reason working a job has become the riskiest decision you can make isn't just about not following your dreams or giving up on who you want to become, though that's certainly part of it. The deeper truth is this: depending on a job today is the most unstable and uncertain way to believe you'll keep food on your table. Because right now, AI is replacing millions of people, and it's happening faster than most even realize. Just this morning, I checked some of the most recent layoff reports. UPS cut Scissorbot Ling workers. That's Sisterbot Ling families. 48,000 breadwinners who can no longer support their wives, children, or even themselves. Amazon let go of Censors Ling people. Intel removed Arthur Sif Ling employees. Ford released Sir E. Ling. Microsoft dropped Chi Ling PwC. Wu Ling Pam Mount. R. Ling. These aren't old numbers. These are recent, happening right now. And every week, the list grows longer. The shocking part is, it's not because those jobs aren't needed anymore. They are. The work is still being done, but not by people. It's being handled by machines, algorithms, and systems that never complain, never show up late, and never asked for a raise. Businesses have one ultimate goal: profit. And the more they can cut costs, the better. Replacing humans with machines isn't just smart for them, it's inevitable. MDL, you have to understand this. Every major corporation on earth is chasing efficiency. They don't care about your loyalty, your years of service, or your family. They care about the bottom line. Human workers are problems. They get sick, they get tired, they have emotions. Machines don't. Machines work flawlessly. Chief Engineer Arthur Sif. And because of that, companies are actively working to phase you out. It's not personal, it's just the new business model. This is why working for a corporation is now the biggest gamble you can take. You have no real security. You have no idea how long that paycheck will keep coming. You could show up tomorrow and find out your position no longer exists because software does it faster and cheaper. People used to think the safe route was to get a good job. Now, that same route is leading millions into uncertainty. The safe path has become a trap. The rules have changed. What once guaranteed security now guarantees vulnerability. So remember this, everything has inverted. The world you were taught to trust doesn't exist anymore. The biggest companies, the ones people thought would protect them, are the same ones building the systems to replace them. Albianger, if you don't adapt, if you don't take control of your own future, then you are waiting to be replaced. Not because you aren't smart, but because the world is moving on and machines are taking over faster than you think. Monde. The people who refuse to change will be left behind, wondering what happened to the stability they were promised. The truth is simple, it was never safe. The illusion of security has been shattered, and the only way to survive is to create your own path before it's too late. Now more than ever, the least risky thing you can do with the highest possible reward is to take complete control of your own destiny. You must place your future, your goals, your finances, everything that defines your life entirely on your own shoulders. Depending on someone else for your survival is the most dangerous game you can play. If you want to build something that lasts, you have to be the one in control. Planned. When you rely on a company, you live under their rules. You get told when to wake up, when to leave, when to eat, and when you're allowed to take a few days off to enjoy life. That's not living, that's Motivational salary. That's not living, that's slavery with a salary. Real security doesn't come from being employed, it comes from being empowered. The moment you start depending on your own ability to make money, you gain freedom no job could ever offer. When you work for yourself, you can never be fired. You are the boss. You decide how hard you work, how much you grow, and how high you climb. Once you understand how to use the tools and technology around you, especially machines and AI, they stop being your competition and start becoming your employees. You make them work for you, not against you. That's the mindset difference between winners and everyone else. They took a steady job to keep things simple. But that safe path is exactly what keeps them trapped. You earn less, you dream less, you live less. You trade your time and energy to build someone else's empire while your own dreams slowly fade. You call it safety, but it's really a slow death. And for what, 2 weeks of freedom a year? A small paycheck that barely covers your bills? A boss who doesn't care about your goals? That's not a reward. That's a lifetime of settling for less than you deserve. Mens, utsmop. Mom, mice, mens. The truth is simple. AI is coming for everyone's job. The world has changed forever. The people who stay safe will be the first to fall. The risk is the same whether you start your own company, or work for someone else, but the reward is completely different. One side gives you a shot at your dream life. The other side barely lets you survive. So ask yourself, if the odds are the same, why not take the shot that could actually change your life? Why play small when you could build something massive? Why be an employee when you could be the owner? The difference between those who win and those who don't is simple. Winners take control. They stop waiting for someone to save them and decide to become the ones in charge. Take ownership of your destiny. Build your own empire. Because in this world, freedom isn't given, it's earned. If you're smart enough, disciplined enough, and hungry enough, you'll realize something important. The only real security in life comes from building your own system. You can't rely on the government, a job, or anyone else to secure your future. You must build something that's yours, something that can't be taken away. The world has already shown you how quickly everything can change. Companies collapse, industries vanish, and technology evolves faster than ever. The only constant is you, your mindset, your skill, and your ability to adapt. Belgiand, when you start building your own system, you stop being part of someone else's machine. Most people wake up every day working to make another man rich. They're part of a system designed to keep them tired, distracted, and broke. The goal isn't just to pay you, it's to keep you dependent. Once you understand that, everything changes. You stop chasing paychecks and start creating cash flow. You stop working for approval and start working for power. The truth is, most people are afraid of freedom because it comes with responsibility. When you're in control, there's no one else to blame. If you fail, it's on you. But that's exactly what makes it powerful. Because if success is your responsibility too, then no one can stop you. Freedom is terrifying for the weak, but it's everything to the strong. In the middle of your journey, it's easy to doubt yourself. You'll have nights where nothing works. You'll question your decisions. People around you will tell you to quit, to play it safe, to get a real job. That's the test. That's the moment that separates those who want success from those who are destined for it. You can't build something meaningful without pressure. Diamonds only form under extreme heat. Pombinger, so while others complain about how unfair life is, you keep building. While they waste time scrolling and gossiping, you're learning, improving, stacking knowledge and money. You're designing your system piece by piece until it starts working for you. That's when things shift, when your system starts generating results, when your money begins to make more money. That's when you realize how powerful independence truly is. Band, do you understand this? Every billionaire, every self-made millionaire you admire, they all built systems. Not just businesses, but machines that work even when they don't. Their money works, their time multiplies, and their influence grows. That's the ultimate level of control. Ben, so stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a builder. Build your foundation, create your system, and make it so strong that no one can ever take it from you. The world is moving fast, and those who wait will be replaced. Would 100, but those who build, they'll own the future, because when you control the system, you control everything. The world is moving at a speed most people can't even comprehend. What used to take decades now changes in months. Technology, business, communication, everything evolves faster than we can process. The people who survive and thrive are not the strongest or even the smartest. They are the ones who adapt. If you can't adapt, you'll be left behind no matter how talented you think you are. You can see it everywhere. Jobs that were once secure are disappearing. Industries that dominated for decades are dying out. What people used to study for 4 years in college becomes outdated before they even graduate. That's the reality. The world doesn't care about your degree, your experience, or your loyalty. It rewards adaptability, creativity, and the ability to stay ahead of the curve. And in the middle of this chaos, you have two choices: complain or evolve. The weak complain. They blame the government, the economy, or luck. They point fingers at everyone except themselves. But the strong, they study the change, they learn, they adjust, and they turn disruption into opportunity. Every wave that destroys others becomes the same wave they ride to the top. This is where most people fail. They see change as a threat instead of a weapon. They resist it instead of mastering it. And because of that, they become outdated, like a product no one buys anymore. But if you can train yourself to embrace change, to learn fast, to adapt without fear, then nothing can stop you. Because the one who adapts fastest always wins. In the middle of your journey, this truth becomes painful. You'll lose people who don't understand your vision. You'll outgrow old environments. You'll face moments when everything seems uncertain. That's the price of evolution. Growth hurts because it forces you out of comfort, but that's exactly where transformation begins. The comfort zone is where dreams die quietly. The battlefield of change is where new empires are born. Meant you have to make a decision. Will you hold on to the old world, or will you lead in the new one? Because make no mistake, the future belongs to the adaptable. The people who learn how to use technology, leverage AI, build systems, and control their own income will rule. The rest will follow, complain, and fade into irrelevance, so adapt faster than anyone else. Learn faster than anyone else. Build faster than anyone else, because the world isn't waiting for you to catch up, it's already moving on. Every second you hesitate, someone else is creating, building, or learning something that will replace what you do. Man, you can either be the one adapting or the one being replaced. The choice is yours. Adaptation isn't just survival, it's power, and those who master it will own the future. At the end of the day, success isn't about luck, timing, or even talent. It's about mindset. Everything begins and ends in your mind. The world will always test you, break you, and try to convince you that you're not enough. Most people surrender to that voice of doubt. Winners don't. Winners understand that discipline, control, and belief are the foundation of everything great. A blend, you have to develop a mindset so strong that failure becomes fuel, not fear. Every setback, every rejection, every moment of pain is just another opportunity to prove to yourself that you can't be broken. Because the truth is, most people lose long before the real battle even begins. They lose in their thoughts. They quit in silence. They surrender mentally, and the world never even has to beat them. Then in the middle of your journey, this battle in your head becomes the hardest part. When money isn't flowing, when success feels far away, when no one believes in you, that's when your mindset is truly tested. You'll question everything. You'll wonder if you're wasting your time. But that's the exact moment when you must refuse to give up. That's the point where most people stop and where winners are made. Ben, understand this. Life will never hand you victory. It will hand you problems, resistance, and pain, and it's your job to turn all of it into power. You can cry or you can climb. You can make excuses or you can make progress. But you can't do both. The difference between average people and great ones isn't opportunity, it's mindset. The great ones simply refuse to quit no matter how bad it gets. In the middle of your rise, the world will test your patience, your vision, and your consistency. Some days you'll feel invisible, you'll give your best, and nothing will move. That's when weak minds collapse, but strong ones double down. Winners know that greatness isn't built overnight. It's built in silence through relentless effort when no one's watching. The moment you learn to control your emotions instead of being controlled by them, you win. The moment you stop reacting and start responding, you win. When you stop comparing yourself to others and focus only on becoming better than you were yesterday, that's when everything changes. Bend, your mindset is your weapon. It decides whether you stay a victim or become unstoppable. The world rewards those who refuse to back down. You don't need luck. You don't need permission. You just need belief. Belief so strong that no failure can shake it, no criticism can break it, and no doubt can stop it. Palangia, because once your mind is unbreakable, everything else becomes possible. Winners aren't born. They're built through pain, patience, and persistence. And if you can master your mind, you can master your life.